Picking your first car may seem like a daunting task. With so many things to look out for, how do you know what to look out for when you buy your first car? Welcome to Jumpstart, where we talk about topics for new car buyers as well as first-time car owners. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing what kind of car you should be looking out for, what kind of things you should be looking out for in those cars, as well as what kind of segments you should be looking out for. All that and more in today's episode of Jumpstart. First-time car buyers, how many times have you been wondering, I want or need a car, but I don't even know what are the things that I should be looking out for? Similarly, seasoned car owners, how many times have first-time car buyers come to you for advice, but when you're asking them things like, what's your budget, what do you need the car for, they can't really give you an answer? Well, that's because first-time car buyers don't know what they don't know. So if you've ever been asked that question, this video is here to help you. We're going to be breaking down this decision process into 4 key factors, and these 4 factors are as important as each other. These 4 factors are budget, key passengers, usage, and brand consciousness. Number 1, budget. What can you afford now and in the future? Budget seems pretty straightforward, but also not really, especially in Singapore's context where all cars are on a limited lifespan. If you're full of liquid cash, say you have 100,000 to splash, you can look at a new Kia Sonic or a Seat Ibiza and that's that. But more often than not, you're going to be looking at taking a loan, so depending on your debt appetite, on that $100,000 down payment, you may be looking at a Volvo XC60 or a superfast Cupra Ateca. In either of these cases, after the down payment, you're still going to be looking at about $2,000 a month in installments only for the next 7 years, so you better make sure that your bank balance is future-proof. Now, for the most case for first-time buyers, you probably wouldn't have $100,000 lying around, but the point still stands. Say if you have $30,000 in cash, you could be looking at anything from 0 up to $30,000 for a full payment, or depending on that same debt appetite, you could be looking at something worth up to $100,000. In which case, there'll be a respective installment schedule to follow. Speaking of buying new or used cars, head on over to sgcarmart.com, and under the pricing subsection, you'll be able to see how much of a down payment you need to make as well as the installment schedule. Number 2, usage. What will the car be used for? Driving around. Duh, but it's more than just that. Will your car just be used for your daily transport from Jurong to Pasir Ris? Will it be used to help move goods for your side business? Do you need to transport pets around in it? All of these different factors go into the consideration to maybe decide on a certain class or a certain brand of car to buy. Say, for example, if your daily driver is only for you and your partner and you want something a little bit more fast and speedy, then a used Sirocco might be more up your alley. If you're a child of a big family and the whole family likes to get together, maybe visit Sentosa on the weekends, then obviously a Sirocco wouldn't cut it. So in that case, maybe a used Honda Odyssey or even a Toyota Sienna. If you're working in a profession where external image is vital to the job, then maybe a relatively cheap yet practical executive Mazda 6 or maybe even a Mercedes SLK would be your choice. So think about what the car will be used for, whether it's yourself or others, and all these factors will play a part in this decision. Number 3, key passengers. Now this kind of still relates to point number 2, but not really. This refers more to passengers who will need to be inside your car as well as who will need access to your car. Say if you're the only one driving, you won't be fetching around many other people, then maybe a Daihatsu Copen or a Mazda MX-5, which may not be the most practical cars, but they're probably a lot more fun. Now, if you're in a relationship, more likely than not, you're going to have to make accommodations for your partner, because not everybody is going to be appreciative of a low-slung ride height of a Sirocco, even if it does 0 to 100 pretty fast and makes some pretty cool fart noises. On the contrary, not every butt is going to need a super plush or luxurious leather Continental, so depending on your muse, you might find something more suitable. Now that the spouse has been taken into account, next up is usually parents. For the most part, filial piety means ferrying the parents around, especially if there wasn't a family car before. If your parents are still relatively young, a 2+2 coupe wouldn't be that bad of an idea, relatively. But if they're on the older end, then having them climb into the back every time they need to get into the car wouldn't be such a good idea. In that case, maybe a crossover or an SUV that's easier to get in and out of. Now that the spouse and the parents have been taken into account, it's time to start thinking about your family. Now, in our reviews, we're always talking about ISOFIX points, and because it's something that people look out for. ISOFIX points allow you to attach modified seats for your little ones inside the car so they can be driven around safely. try out having to attach an ISOFIX point to a car that's too low, and you'll quickly find out that it's almost backbreaking. So in that sense, you want to think about not just the number of ISOFIX points, but also the height of these ISOFIX points. Whether it's low or high, that might be something that you need to take into consideration. Number 4, brand consciousness and reliability. What sort of brand do you want to be associated with, and what are the consequences of some of the brands? Not as much as some of us Singaporeans like to say every car brand is a good brand. Certain car brands have certain traits over certain car brands, and some people just prefer a certain car brand over another, and there's kind of nothing wrong with it. You get the car that you like. Brands can be renowned or infamous for their reliability. In fact, if you search online, there are reports that can tell you how reliable certain brands are. And even within brands, certain models are known to be more reliable than others. So if your car is something that you can't afford any downtime on, do be conscious of that. Another thing to take into account with brands is that getting a brand with a more mass market appeal might be easier to fix because parts are common and the known issues are out there. If you're getting a car that's quite specialist or less known, getting the car's downtime may mean weeks sitting inside the workshop because they need to order parts, and parts take time to arrive. Think of it like contracting an illness. If you've gotten something common, a GP doctor may be able to prescribe and medicate and fix the illness. But if it's something that's a lot more specialized, you're going to need to be seen by a specialist doctor with specialized tools and medicine. So the same downtime for the car may take a lot longer. So that's our list of things to consider when you're making your first car purchase. What do you think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Do you think that there are things that we missed out on? Let us know down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our uploads. And please follow us on TikTok at SG Carmark. Thanks for watching. Bye bye!